Hey there guys, my name is Bradrenalin and today I'm going to show you my top 6 Pokebank Stealth Rockers. Now all of these, except for Mamoswine at the very end, these all learn Stealth Rocks through the move tutors in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So the first one that I've been testing quite a bit actually in Pokebank OU. It's why I haven't uploaded as much actually as well, because I've been figuring out things for Pokebank like what to use, EV spreads, sets, fun stuff to use, all of that. So Marowak as a Stealth Rocker. So Cubone can learn Stealth Rocks through the move tutor, and then you can transfer it to Alola, and then when you evolve it, it'll evolve into the Alolan form. It of course uses Fit Club, it has the Electric Immunity in Lightning Rod, and it has a quite specific EV spread as it's been tested quite a bit. But this one, it checks a lot of the Ultra Beasts. It also checks Tapu Koko, and I think it's Genesect, so it checks Genesect, Heatran, and some other bulky Stealth Rockers that it hits 4 times effective, like Ferrothorn for example. So the moveset is basically 3 very strong moves. We have Flare Blitz, we have Earthquake and Shadow Bone. You can run Boomerang if you want to miss it, but I prefer to run Earthquake just because you're not missing out on too much damage, I'm pretty sure. Now the EVs, we run 248 HP so that we have an even number of health. This is so that we obviously take a certain amount of damage from Stealth Rocks. I think it's 24% instead of 25%, so if we put this to level 100 a second. Yeah, okay, so at level 100 we would take 24% because we have an odd number. So if we go to level 50, we would need to be, again, an odd number. So we could run, I think it's 252? Yeah, 252 and 16. So we run 16 in speed instead. So for level 50, 252 HP. For level 100, 248 HP. And this will mean that we can take 5 switch-ins to Stealth Rocks instead of 4. Which some might think, oh, that's really unnecessary. But it could be the difference, So that is why we do EVs in the first place. Very specific things and calculations. So we'll move on to attack. Now we don't need to run full attack. Obviously we do have the Fit Club. But anything we do add in will actually give us extra stats. So we're getting an extra 17 if we have Adamant, but we can also run Impish, which is defense and special attack. We can also run Careful, which is plus special defense minus special attack. So we pretend that there's no Adamant nature a sec. We're getting 16 extra attack from the the allocation of these EVs, which are then doubled by the Thick Club. It's just very strong. So we can add this to Adamant, well, we can make this Adamant, sorry, and then it's just 127 attack doubled, being 254, and still being very tanky and having a good typing on the offensive and defensive side. I think Marowak is going to be just one of those really good mons. Now, we do put some EVs into speed, just to outspeed other Maros. Some mons that maybe put 8 or 12 speed EVs that are around the same base speed. So that would be things like Golisopod. Vikavolt as well, I think runs 4 or 8. So very strong mons that you can do a lot of damage to. And then we drop the rest of the EVs into defense because it's arguably Marowak's best stat defensively to put EVs into, because the only special attacks you're really going to take a lot of damage from are from Greninja. And let's be honest, you're not going to stay in on a Greninja when it basically counters your dual typing with its dual typing. So yeah, this is probably my favourite, and now we're going to get into some of the more obvious ones after this. So I really wanted to share this one with you, but we'll skim through these next load of them because you can already see them on screen and they're already pretty standard. So we'll next get into Tanky Garchomp. Now, I've actually missed this set a lot. It's only when something is taken away from you that you realise how much you miss it. Now, that probably sounds really deep and sad considering we're talking about Pokemon, but defensive Garchomp is one of those things of genius that just happened. Like, it has some really good base stats being a pseudo legendary. You don't really need to invest in attack when it has base 130, and it also just has a decent move pool and things like that. It gets Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet, which we both know synergize really well, especially with all the Ferrothorns that went around in Pokemon X and Y. So for those of you that experienced that, don't worry, I am here for you and we have the solution. Well, it's not a solution as such, but so Stealth Rocks is, again, move tutor for Garchomp. You can run Brick Break here. I'm seeing a lot of, screens, veils and stuff. I'm using it as well. But you could also run, oh, what have I done? You could also run Fire Blast. Let's sort this a sec. Dragon Tail. Okay, so you could run Fire Blast. I think you can also run Poison Jab. You know, there's a lot of grass and fairy types and things that are just generally weak to poison. You could also run Roar and then have a like Dragon Claw instead of Dragon Tail. I think Dragon Tail is just really nice in itself. You could also run Toxic. Toxic is pretty standard on a defensive set. But then you would run either Dragon Tail or Roar, like I said, and then Earthquake is just to complement its dual stab and its raw power. The EVs are 240 HP. We basically drop the rest into HP because we want to have a lot of defense and we want to have some speed just to outspeed some things. Which I think 92 speed helps us with max 70s, which honestly, a lot of the Pokemon in Alola that are 70s, you know, things like Decidueye, running max speed, I think it's not very common, you know. Like I'm seeing a lot of like bulkier Decidueye. Some of them run max speed, but it's still outspeed. You can get the Toxic up. You can also Dragon Tail it while it's setting up. So yeah, like I said, I really missed Garchomp. Like Tanky Garchomp, it's just so good. I mean, it still dies to Hidden Power Ice, but what are you gonna do when you're Dragon and Ground? So the next one is Skarmory. This gets it through last gen, either through getting the Egg Move from the Dex Nav, or you can get it through Move Tutor. Obviously, you can get it through Egg Move in this gen, but nothing that is available in this gen can actually breed to give it Stealth Rocks. So this is just one of the movesets you can use on Skarmory. This isn't like the use this set, because there's a few ways to run it. You can run specially defensive Skarm, fully defensive Skarm, like Suicide Lead, hazards. Like this is kind of like a hazard setup, but also defensive. We're also running the Shed Shell because this allows us to switch out of Magnezone if we can get it in game anyway. If we can get it in game, then we'll be using Shed Shell because Magnezone still runs amok with things like Celesteela being in existence and things like Skarmory. So Stealth Rocks, Roost is there. I wouldn't suggest roosting in on something that has Earthquake, because people like me are going to click Earthquake and then try and OHKO you. So Spikes is here as an option. You don't have to run this though. You could run Whirlwind. It also gets Taunt and Toxic, so you do have options with Skarmory. And then we just run Brave Bird because it's a move, but it does get Counter. So you could run Counter as well and then just run, you know, specially defensive, because you will be taking more physical damage if you don't have the physical investment. So because I'm running the physically defensive set, we will be going max and then Impish or into special defense because it's just all we have left. So the next Stealth Rocker is going to be Clefable. This does get Stealth Rocks by Move Tutor in Oras. It also tends to run Thunder Wave and Soft Boiled for the status and the easy, reliable recovery. And then the last move, you could run Moonblast, you could run Counter, Heal Bell, I think it gets, Aromatherapy. Knockoff is an option too, which is Move Tutor. Screens, it does actually have some decent options. It's kind of like Chansey. You could also run Chansey or Blissey in this set, which also gets Stealth Rocks. And yeah, it's pretty standard. You go Magic Guard. Unaware, I think, was changed this gen, although I honestly can't remember. I haven't looked into it. I think Magic Guard is just better, and then we have some pretty standard EV spreads for Clefable, just max HP, a lot into defense, a little less into special defense, and then you can either run Calm or Impish. Not Impish, is it Relaxed? No, Calm. I can't remember. Bold, that's the one, Bold. So you can either run Calm or Bold, and then you'll just be pretty defensive, decent recovery, decent status move. It also gets Toxic if you want to go for that. And yeah, we'll go on to the next one, which is Archeops. Now, Archeops is one of those mons that's really held back by its ability being defeatist. But it does get Stealth Rocks in the Move Tutor. It does have access to Endeavour. It does get Taunt. And it does get moves such as Head Smash. Now, you could also go for Acrobatics, but when your Focus Sash is gone, it will put you into defeatist, which halves your attack. So Head Smash not only is just really strong, it can also kill you when something's opting to Rapid Spin, and you could also technically block the Rapid Spin this way. So some people can run Rapid Spin. I think it's down to preference. It does also get Defog, but it's counterproductive if this is a Suicide Stealth Rock lead. It does get Knockoff as well through the Move Tutor. Roost is a thing, but I think because this is like a suicide lead, like there's a lot of emphasis on it. You could set up a Tailwind even. So there's some utility moves that Archeops can get access to, but this is great for setting up the rocks, getting hit down to your sash, endeavoring something, or switching out and saving the endeavor, the low HP endeavor. Because if you didn't know what endeavor does, it brings something down to your number of HP. So if you're 1 health and you use endeavor, it brings that Pokemon down to 1 health, so it's very strong. You can imagine that it can actually give you a lot of momentum when you've got your Stealth Rocks up, and then either they switch out or they just take the endeavor after knocking you down to sash. You can also taunt them to stop them recovering and take out a Mon, so it has a lot of value, honestly. Like, try this out. I guarantee it'll work. So, using that same logic and that same moveset, Mamoswine does get Stealth Rocks this gen, but it doesn't get Endeavor, which is Tutor only in Oras. So we'll be giving it Endeavor and then Earthquake and Ice Shard. You could also run Icicle Spear, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, a Screen move, Toxic. So again, don't think that these are just like, you know, you've got to copy my movesets. These are just to inspire you, to give you the ideas and the tools to work. So I didn't actually go over the EV spreads, but these two are the same. It's max attack and max speed Jolly. They both have pretty decent speed. Archeops is way faster, but it does lose some attack once it gets hit into its defeatist ability, which is below half health. 140 base attack is probably the reason why this is so. It's very strong when you get that. Either you get the head smash off turn 1 or you stealth rock, depending on the matchup, of course. You hit very hard or you miss, like I would miss. Then you get hit down to your sash, then you endeavor. And it's pretty much the same with Mamoswine. Now Mamoswine's quite a bit bulkier just because of its HP stat. So it won't always go down to 1. It may go down to around 60 or 40% health. And you can still get the Endeavor off, or you could go for the priority Ice Shard or move of choice. So yeah, there it is. My 6 top Pokebank Stealth Rockers are so weird to say. I don't know why I keep messing it, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are inspired to use some of these Stealth Rockers once Pokebank hits. These will be in a paste bin or a text file of some sorts in the description, just so you have easy access to them. And yeah, that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and maybe I will see you again soon.